Hello chess fans, fans of the beautiful game. This is Chess to Impress with further highlights from the 2016 Sinquefield Cup, played in August 2016 in St. Louis in the United States. Maxime Vachier-Lagrave is a French grandmaster and is number 2 in the world behind Magnus Carlsen. His rating has increased a lot over the last few months. He has been unbeaten in 67 games. And all series come to an end at one stage, and it happened in the Sinquefield Cup in the second round, where Maxime Vachier-Lagrave, or MVL as he is called by his initials, played white against former world champion Vishwanathan Anand from India. Very complicated game. This is the position after 29, Queen h6 to h4 from MVL. Position is equal. And here Anand played knight c7 to d5. And I'll play a little clip for you later with Anand's interview after the game, because here he thought, oh, what have I done? I have blundered a pawn. And MVL thought the same thing and took knight takes e6 with suddenly a discovered attack on the knight on d5, which is now attacked twice. But by this time Anand had seen that actually knight takes e6 is a blunder. It costs a piece. Why does it cost a piece? After Anand took the piece back and bishop takes d5 as planned, winning a pawn, MVL thought there is the in-between move. In-between moves are always very tricky, difficult to foresee. e4, e3 is what Anand played. And why is this so strong? Because it's not just attacking the bishop on f2, but also threatening e3, e2, forking both rooks. So white cannot ignore this move, and the best move, the only move really, is to take on e3. But now Anand took back on d5, and suddenly the bishop on e3 is hanging. So white does not have time to take on d5. Because then queen takes e3. MVL tried to sell his bishop as dear as possible, so he took on a7 with check. And after king takes a7, he could have played rook takes d5, winning back the piece, but that is not a very good move, because there's another in-between move coming up. Very strong is here, bishop takes f4, attacking the rook on d5, so there's no time for queen takes f4. And after rook takes d8, there is another in-between move, and again on the square e3, bishop e3 check. And after king h1, the queen just takes the rook back on d8 and has a winning position. 2 pawns for the piece is not enough. MVL saw this, so he didn't take on d5. He played queen f2 check. But now, of course, Anand could have played king a8, and then the rook can take on d5. But here Anand played a beautiful move. Bishop c5, very, very nice. Of course, the bishop is curing queen and king, so has to be taken. Queen takes e5, queen takes e5, b takes e5, and now the bishop on d5 is protected, so black has given his black squared bishop instead of his light squared bishop. And in the meantime, scattered white's pawns. The pawns on c3, b4 and a5 looked very nice, and white had 3 pawns compensation for the piece, and he still has those 3 pawns compensation, but look at the pawns now. c3, c5 and a5 is a horrible pawn structure. these pawns will fall one after the other. And this is a much better option than giving the light squared bishop. A very nice play from Anand. The game didn't last very long. I'll show you the last few moves. Rook d7, rook fe1. Of course there's 3 pawns compensation, so MVL soldiered on. h6, king f2, king b8, c4, kicking the bishop, bishop c6, rook takes, bishop takes, rook b1, rook a6, and attacking those weak pawns. Rook b6, rook takes a5, rook takes h6, and white still has some hope with his h-pawn, but Anand had seen that that was not dangerous. He can take time to take the other weak pawns. Rook takes c5 and rook takes c4, because after g3, king c7, h5 and b7, b5, MVL resigned. The h-pawn looks dangerous, but the b-pawn is a lot quicker and a lot more dangerous, and MVL saw that there's no way he can save this game. Let me show you a little example. Let's say white wants to keep running with his pawn and try to stop the b-pawn at the same time. Rook a6, then b4, h6, and a very nice little move, rook c2 check. If the king goes to the e-file, then there's rook h2, stopping the h-pawn. And if white wants to prevent that, king g1, then there's b3. And you cannot play h7 because of b2 and checkmate on the next move. If you want to try and stop the b-pawn with rook a1, that's the only option. Then simply b2, rook b1, and rook c1 check. And that's the end of the game. So a good win from Anand, but he was helped of course by MVL's blunder. And MVL loses a game after 67 unbeaten games. And as I said, every streak comes to an end. I have a little clip of Anand's interview where he talks about this moment when he thought he had blundered a pawn and then saw that there was a way to save it. Let's listen.
To be honest, I had the same hallucination as him. I played knight d5 and I thought, oh my god, what have I done? I've allowed knight takes e6, what an idiot I am. And then I thought, no, wait, I can start with e3. And I had this happy thought, and I left it at that, and I was really amazed he took.
What about this?
Hope you enjoyed this game. If you did, I hope you give it a thumbs up and that you subscribe to my channel. This is Chess to Impress. Thank you for watching.